We are. Hi, Julie.
Hello, my friend. I love that bit of heart bowl, kind
Yeah,
of setting the tone for today.
she was really calling to me this afternoon, this heart bowl. Um,
Mm,
and when the bowls call, I listen. And yeah, uh, it's really resonating with just the vibrations of the heart bowl and wanting to put some of these vibrations out into the world this afternoon.
yeah, lots of heavy hearts right now. Yeah, so this really does kind of fill. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering with curiosity, the poem that found you this week.
Yeah, so interestingly, I found this poem several days ago and was like, okay, here's this is it. This is the one I'm going to read. And I actually found it on a Facebook page. A friend of mine on a private Facebook page said, "I love what you're doing. Sort of with your poetry sharing that you're doing with your friend Susan." And I said, "Thank you." And she said, "Can I messenger you a poem?" And I said, "Yes, that would be really cool. I would love that." And so the poem I'm going to read is the poem that she sent to me, and it's really lovely. I love that how kind of organic way that came my way. And
Mm-hmm.
the uh, the poet is actually a grassroots organizer and is focused on a lot of domestic justice, racial justice, economic justice. That's sort of her wheelhouse. And I just thought at the time that I heard, that she told me a little bit about her background and then shared the poem, I thought, well, that's perfect. And then the world tilted in a way that I couldn't have expected. Um, and we're all just reeling and heartsick as a nation here in the United States. And we're dealing with things on a global level, and we're dealing with things on the micro level, and we have a lot to clean up at home, and that is very clear. That is just very clear, and I can't imagine there would be another person in the country that couldn't admit that we have a lot to clean up here at home. So without getting into too much more, I just want to go ahead and read this beautiful poem that
Let's do
came
this.
my way. So this is Fire Keeping by Claire Bayard. The same people are saving the world again. Always the same ones. The tenders, the healers, the fighters, Black women, Indigenous women, gender transgressors, and truth tellers. Elders holding wisdom, youth holding hope. People who always had so little, they make everything out of nothing. Who know survival is only the beginning. schemers and dreamers in opposite wings, weaving what they do, spitting disdain at each other as if they didn't know they are two halves of a tool. Listen for voices in the storm. If you are lucky enough to have a roof, listen to the rain. Get your hands dirty. When the sun returns, the seeds must already be in the earth. Time to pick up, carry on our backs what cannot be left. Burn and return to the earth what cannot be brought forward. There is no normalcy. There will be no return to systems that always fought to destroy the workings of love. Barriers and bars won't keep us safe against what's coming or from each other. There is only forward together. Grasp between your teeth the courage you had when you were a child. That's been waiting between your ribs your whole life. We can walk together, holding hands, even from far away. Everything we have been learning prepares us for this.
Everything we have been learning prepares us for this.
Mm-hmm.
I have the sense that everything in my life has led to this.
Mm.
It's as if the energy knew what was coming and dropped you a seed.
Mm-hmm.
Time, dropped you some tools and some wisdom for you to carry with you and share with us in the eye of this storm.
I know, it's so beautiful when those synchronistic sort of experiences, when you're paying attention, because I believe they're always around us.
Mm-hmm.
And always trying to catch our attention. And so I'm really glad that in the moment that it was like, I just was like, sure, I'd love to see what you're inspired by. And then was like, wow. And then boom, we sort of experienced just such a heartbreaking loss. And you know, there's just words, you know, this is where poetry is so important, because mere words don't reflect enough.
Right.
But poetry comes from the heart. It's not a thinking process. Poetry sort of comes from an experiential place that is deep within us and makes that a unique experience that often is a contagion thing where somebody else is like, oh, me too, or oh, the way those words strung together mean something deeper than just words strung together.
I was having the exact same thought, Julie. I'm not kidding you. I was thinking, these are words strung together, but in poetry, these words are not just strung together. They resonate deeply, they provoke emotions, they provoke action.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of those poems that like it like didn't want to let me go. You know,
Did you try? Did you go in search of other poems?
third I decided, oh, let's see what Rumi has to say about love. And with that said, I found and Mark Nepo, who I love his poetry, his work. I thought, let's see. And interestingly enough, the poem that just boom hit me a second wave by Rumi is called Only Breath.
Oh,
So I'd like to read this one too
yes,
because it needs to be heard, and
yes.
it's equally potent for our time.
You are
Yeah.
bringing us
Mm.
some breath today.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. So Only Breath by Rumi. Not Christian or Jew or Muslim, not Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi, or Zen, not any religion or cultural system. I am not from the East or the West, not out of the ocean or up from the ground, not natural or ethereal, not composed of elements at all. I do not exist. Am not an entity in this world or in the next. Did not descend from Adam and Eve or any origin story. My place is placeless, a trace of the traceless, neither body or soul. I belong to the beloved, have seen the two worlds as one, and that one call to and know, first, last, outer, inner, only that breath, breathing human being.
I don't want to speak and ruin
Mhm.
this moment. Mm. Truly, I was just feeling how these poems are really inhabiting this space right now.
Mhm. Yeah, I think we all have broken hearts,
Hmm.
and poetry and music and sharing stories right now are so necessary. And listening, like really listening, deep listening.
Listening not just with our ears, but with our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and allowing our hearts to be soft and undefended during a time where we really want to protect our hearts and
Yeah.
close ranks is the time for this soft and undefended heart so
Hmm.
that we can use this muscle to listen.
Yeah.
Because like we said last week, we can't turn away. We really can't turn away right now.
Hmm.
And we have to breathe. We have to remember that we all breathe. Mm. Mm. Much love to you, Julie,
Mm.
bringing these to us and giving a voice to some things this week that I've had a hard time giving voice to, finding words for.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll post these both for folks who may want to spend a little time really doing some deep listening and reading this for themselves and just being with some of these words. They're very potent and beautiful and painful and important. We can't look away.
Scary. Yeah, we can't look away. Oh, peace upon you, my friend.
Same to you.
Until
All
next
right.
time.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.